Really good pitching matchup. Two pitchers throw a lot of strikes. High strikeout rate guys. Really good stuff. George Kirby's very underappreciated. He doesn't walk anybody. I mean, it should be a fun matchup. Yeah. I honestly thought last night was one of the better performances before that last play by Parker was one of the better performances of the season just because you're facing a really good pitcher, kept things moving, a lot of hard grounders. He's a tough guy to square up, but they did a good job. And here we go. In there. You're going to see a lot of upper 90s cheddar cheese today. The first pitch was 97. Probably see Kirby get up 98, 99. But I think it's cool. It's not the first time. I know he hasn't done it for the Mets yet, which is ironic, but he's done it for multiple teams now, right? There's that heater. That's down. Yeah, well, I mean, I don't think I don't think that was a choice. I think he even had said that, like they made him wear the home jersey. Get up. Wenzel's pretzels. That was a great at bat. Even that pitch, he got around on it, but that was a pretty good pitch. Would I ever do that for a chance? Oh yeah. Yeah, solo shot to kick off the game. Obviously, solo shot. Wow, how about that? First home run he's allowed since June. Good way to start the game. He went, yeah. Well, I mean, you preferably want to get more for Skubal, but yeah, I mean, I don't think they're going to be hitting nukes all night. Kirby's a pretty darn good pitcher, so it's been talked about before, but it really is true, man. Like, get out. Sometimes it's all about getting to these pitchers early because a lot with the stuff they have, and the experience they have, they settle in. It can be a long day. That's out. Yeah. I don't know if you guys know this, but did I read this right that Taylor Swift had to cancel a series of concerts because there was a terror threat? Did I make that up? Run it out. He can beat that. Yeah. Oh boy. You know what? There's truth to that. 21 with the Turnbull no hitter, we swept Seattle. 22. What did we do in 22? We finished the season losing 2 out of 3 in Seattle. Last year, I think we won 2 out of 3, or even 3 out of 4. I think it was 2 out of 3 to start the All-Star break. Start second half. And then today, obviously, we're off to a good start in this series. It's a good point. Blah. Blah, blah, blah. Been nothing but fastball sliders so far. I think that's a curveball. Yeah. Nah, spoke too soon. We are to Seattle. The Angels are to us. I'd have to check across the league, but I can't imagine many more teams have been as dominant in one location against a single team than the Angels have been at home against the Tigers. At Comerica, it's a little bit different. They still beat us, but but in Anaheim, that is house horse. Yeah, that is sometimes, every so often, AJ will put together a lineup where I look at it and one guy will stand out, and that one guy who stands out ends up having a good game. he bizarrely has kind of a magic touch when it comes to that. I did. Ooh. Yeah, that's 2 straight fastballs right down the middle. He's just challenging him. Kirby. Ooh, good take. How many pitches? This is going to be a 25 pitch inning at least. That's really good. Outside. Season high pitches thrown in the first inning. Great job. And one of those was a 3-pitch strikeout. Was Vierling going there? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think, honestly, I think that's one of the reasons they traded Canna is I feel like once Kerry Carpenter came back, I'm at a point in the season where I don't need to see any veterans. Like, Gio Urshela could hit 500 the rest of the season. He could hit 100 the rest of the season. It wasn't matter. He's not going to be here next year. He might not even be in baseball next year. So just get the young guys as many reps as you can. Back. Well, it's a good inning, though. Made him work. Oh, it's really the only reason why I view this season as any different at all than previous campaigns is like I do think it is fun. Like when you have that dude, and Skubal has been that dude this year. Knock on wood that he delivers today. It does feel really good when you have a guy that every 5th day you can look forward to. It becomes an event when he starts. I think he might be a little bit jazzed up today because obviously he's back home where he went to. Well, he's from California, but he went to Seattle U. One important thing to point out, too, Skubal's last start, not very good, one of his weaker outings of the year. But Seth Lugo and Corbin Burns also followed it up with mediocre starts. I think those are the only 2 guys at this point capable of catching him or having an argument with him. Burns especially. I can't imagine anybody else could get crazy hot enough over the next 2 months to really make a. I mean, I think this guy that we're facing is pretty damn good, George Kirby. But his ERA is just above 3. Skubal's is about 2.5. My record prediction was way off. What's weird is when we're bad, I typically am closer to being right with my predictions than I am when we're good. Like last year, I remember saying I don't think they're going to be as bad as people think, and they shot well above my projected win total. I had them at 72 and 90. They finished with 78 wins, I think. This year I had them at 85. They'll probably finish with 77. Strike. helps. I mean, honestly, sorry, it didn't pop up. That'd be a question that would be better suited for somebody in the organization. I don't know, and I would love to ask somebody if there's a specific thing they need to see from him in order for them to say, okay, let's call him up. I don't know. That's in the park, right? Yeah. I haven't paid a ton of attention to what he's done down there, to be honest. I know the numbers have gotten better. Maybe it is as simple as he's changed his swing mechanics, and they're just waiting for him to get more comfortable with those mechanics. I'm not sure. Is it a window? It's a built-in window. It's not a window that leads outside. Like you go up the stairs and you could see me. Ooh, tough take. Ooh, come on, give it to him. That was paint. He wasn't calling it for Kirby either. Bang, didn't matter. Pretty much the same location. A little bit further inside, but that pitch to me, both in the upper part of the zone and the bottom part of the zone to righties, has been the biggest difference this year, and why I think a huge reason why he's just developed as a pitcher. He's just not afraid to throw inside. And look, a lot of people not being afraid to throw inside isn't some accomplishment. Like you should be able to throw inside, but it's more so he's locating inside. And it's been that way since the early part of the season. Oh, I shouldn't laugh. I love Brandon. It's a very funny clip. 99. Call it. Don't run into each other this time. Thank you. Good job, Wenzel. Hamburger. We have to lead the league in collisions and your collisions for defenders. Dude, we do. If you watch a baseball team long enough, and I'll have to go back and think about this, I feel like every year your favorite team has that one thing that isn't a statistic. Like near collisions and collisions is not a statistic. But like one year I remember with Alex Avila, we lapped every other team in foul balls off the catcher's mask. I mean, he took more balls to the face than fucking Alexis Texas. I mean, remember the one? I think it was 2011. It was a foul ball off the mask, and fucking sparks came off of his mask. There was that year. There was okay. I'm trying to think of some other anomalies. This year is definitely the year of the collision or near collision for sure, or miscommunication in the outfield. Well, this is basically my pajama shirt. Like, I don't wear this when I do any sort of strenuous activity. So, hey, son, Parker Meadows is the key to all this because he's a funnier character than we've had before. Get down. Drop. Attaboy, Parker. Bring me pictures of Spider-Man. He might end up hitting leadoff by the end of the season if he keeps going. Get down. Safe. I thought he called him out for a second. He was clearly in. For some reason, I had like my like my eyelids looking down. Yeah. Have him take third. Have him take third. Inside. And that's it. Because he's the only guy who can back up Baez. We need somebody that can. At the end of the day, dude, we need a body at shortstop. You can't play with 8 guys. It's obviously pretty rough and embarrassing those are the options. For the sake of my sanity, I'm going to believe that those won't be the options next year. But I think that's just, to their credit, I don't even know. Good at bat, by the way. To their credit, dude, they gave Ryan Kreidler a chance. I mean, the tweet that I sent was, was sadly true. It was like, in order for there to be an uptick in offensive production, Ryan Kreidler needs to be worse than the worst hitter in baseball, and he wasn't. There's certain guys who are fringe guys who I can look at, like even a McKinstry, on a certain, with his versatility, what he can add. I could understand even a good team having him be the last guy in a roster. Kreidler just ain't a major league player, just not a major league ball player. I never bought into him. There was a weird upswing of hype surrounding him at some point a few years back, but I was never on the Kreidler hype train. Maybe it was just fucking Lynn Henning tweets, but I outside. In there. Dude, Bobby Witt Jr. is just having himself a season, dude. Second half, especially. Jesus. Oh, Hobby. He's such an eager beaver. Is that the first out? You see, like, that's just such... I feel like I've shot my wad, and I don't want to get redundant with my criticism of Hobby. But there was nothing, even regardless of the result, there was nothing productive about that at bat. You didn't draw up his pitch count. You didn't move the runner. You didn't put the ball in play. You didn't see a bunch of pitches. You only, even like the repertoire of pitches. I think you saw 2 sliders, 2 fastballs. That doesn't help anyone on the team in this current situation or down the road. Useless. Fucking rather have a Buffalo take a fucking diarrhea dump in my ear. Shout out to Angry Video Game Nerd. I get foul. Nah. Well, it was foul, but he caught it. Now who is it? Wenzel. Make it 2 for 2, Wenzel. Cycle watch. Secret weapon. Still throwing a fair amount of pitches, though. I mean, this is going to be at least a 43-pitch inning. Outside. I don't think he threw him a single splitter in the first time he saw him. Yes, exactly. Thank you, Jason. That's in there. That's down. Is that the case? The Mariners obviously have a tremendous pitching staff. They've been talking about it, throughout the series already. I don't know. I don't watch Gilbert and Kirby. Like, I just don't have the ability to watch every single one of their starts. When I see their stuff, just their overall pure stuff, they strike me as guys who should be in the thick of the Cy Young race, and yet they're like kind of just one slight notch below that top tier. But they throw a lot of strikes. The Mariners have a legit pitching factory. I mean, that's what's weird about this team is it's too bad their offense is just what it is, because this is a rotation that if they get hot, they can shut, and a good closer too. They could shut teams down in the postseason. 2-2 here. Oh, that's nasty. Yeah, that's untouchable. That's a slider. He backdoored him. Mincy still talked to you. I haven't talked to him in a minute, but I was actually thinking about hitting him up one of these days. Yeah, I mean, when I talk to AJ, I think AJ, being a former player, so much of what he says, and I think it's why he's a popular manager, comes from a place of empathy where he was trying desperately to get something from Javi this season. And he's tried to alleviate his stress by telling him, you don't have to repeat what you did in Chicago. Just control what you can control. The problem is it's two things now. And I think this year, especially now, I think he's just finished. I just don't think he really has it anymore. I think the body's broken down. When he was at his peak, he really played with a recklessness that was fun to watch legitimately, but wasn't sustainable. And ultimately, even if the power was still there, even if the bat to ball skills were still there, he just doesn't have a good enough knowledge of the strike zone. And we're talking about a guy who is, I believe his first year was what, 2014, 2015. I mean, he is too deep into his major league career now to have some sort of overnight change. That's something you can do in year 1 or year 2. By the time you're in year 10, you're not going to change. He's had too much success as a player to change his ways. The problem is it's a round peg in a square hole because you have a free swinging shortstop on a team that is trying to build their identity around dominating the strike zone. Javi Baez is to the strike zone what a fucking radio is to a bathtub full of water. It's not sustainable. It's not a good match. My name is Justin Turner. This is my daughter, Jenny Turner. Jenny. My name is Jake Berger. This is my wife, Alyssa Berger. My daughter, Jenny Berger. You don't understand. I walk around and just do that sometimes. I got that. It was check out the Opie and Anthony bit where they talk about, that's where I got it from, where they go through the list. It's such a brilliant bit. It was Anthony and Patrice O'Neill kind of went through it. Where let me watch this pitch here. 2-2 from Skubal. Fastball. Tied him up. But it's so funny that like Schwarzenegger, what do you think Schwarzenegger? You think foreign, big, muscular, foreign movie star. And yet they kept casting him in movies where he was supposed to be like the everyman American. And he wasn't going to do an American accent because that would have been stupid. So the parts were written for Americans. So they would give him names like like Adam Gibson and Howie Langston and John Kimball. And it's like this guy, this like fucking 6'5" Austrian has to go around with, my name is John Kimball. I think in Commando, I think his name was John Matrix. Was that because that was the one where he was John and his daughter was Chenny. I need to find Chenny. I really wish we're not going to get it, and I don't think he would even allow it. But like, I wish we could get a Arnold Schwarzenegger like action send off movie in the theme. That's in the Parker's got it. Call it. Don't run into each other. Yeah, Parker's got it. In the vein of Logan. That's like a little bit more serious, a little bit more of a character study. Because I actually don't think, and I could be way off about this, I don't think Arnold, there's two ways to look at him. You look at him as an actor and you look at him as a movie star. We know he's a movie star. I think he's probably more capable of giving like a good dramatic performance than some people think. Like Stallone is like that, where Stallone did a lot of dumb shit, but Stallone, when he's right and when he has good material, is a great actor. Yeah, I mean, popped him up, call it, call it, call it. You got it. You're good. All right. Yeah, well, it depends. I mean, Terminator's a perfect role for him just because he's a big, dumb killing machine. I don't know. I think it's just, there's natural charisma. Like I didn't see the remake that they did of Total Recall, but I remember thinking it was a dumb idea because the first Total Recall works in large part because of Arnold's charisma. He just says a bunch of silly shit. And I love Colin Farrell, but like that's a step down. Yeah, no, he has some of the fucking best lines in that. When he's talking about lifting, he's like, "It's as satisfying to me as coming is having sex with a woman and coming." No, I mean, I think it's he's been open about it. He's talked about it when I talked to him. You know, we knew he had an elite fastball, but I think when you get to the big league level, you really need to develop that out pitch that isn't your heater. You know, I think that a guy like Verlander, he got that slider and that curveball down. I mean, he had everything. That's probably unfair. But like, I think the development of that changeup just has made him such a weapon. And he's just it's hard to develop pitching, man. He's just developed a better understanding of himself as a pitcher. And he has a lot of confidence in himself, and he should. His stuff's ridiculous. And it's another reason why I think, even beyond just the analytics part of thing, why why I think Chris Fetter does a great job is that every guy that I've talked to about Fett says like he knows his shit, and I really think your pitchers are going to have a greater sense of confidence when they feel like they're coming into a start prepared. Montero last night was a prime example. Just incredible faith in his off-speed stuff, and you saw it on full display. You know, I would be willing to venture he hadn't even looked that good in the minors at any point. No, AJ and the organization have very strict rules about coaches talking to the media, I think. Because it's not just him. The only time I ever saw Chris Fetter interviewed in a public capacity was when he was introduced, which I think was probably a mandatory thing. George Kirby is thin, man. Jesus. Oh, that was probably strike three, but he dropped it. Run it out. That's the second time he's just thrown his bat out there. That one went into center. The first one was a ground ball to short that he beat out. 2 for 2 for Matt Vierling. Matt Vierling, I know he had that like Linsanity run for like 2 weeks there. Matt Vierling's had a good year. I think Matt Vierling is, through his first 2 years in Detroit, exactly who he's going to be for the remainder of his career. He's never going to blow people away, never going to hit for a ton of power, though he will drive the occasional home run, but he'll be relatively consistent. I mean, he can run a bit. Good pitch. Yeah. Could be wrong. It seems like to lefties, he's throwing a bunch of pitches away. backdoored Wenzel on the last one. He's throwing multiple splitters. The splitter has a good movement to it. Like a lot of splitters kind of play down. This one, this sounds silly. It kind of has vertical and horizontal movement on it. That's inside. Ripped it. Fastball, right field. Off the wall. We dropped it. Send him, send him, send him. Great job. Great job. I was worried. I was worried when Haniger had the ball in his hands the first time that he was going to send him. He would have been dead. Him dropping the ball and they won't give him an error on that. But, hey, man, Bly Madris. I'm a bisexual. I don't know what to say. Yeah, he didn't slow down at all. A little bit, yeah. Very poor man. I will be going to one of the games in Chicago when we play the Cubs. Yeah, I'll be going there with my dad, meeting up with my brother. I'm only going to be there for like a day. It feels like it. I don't know. I know the Yankees a few years ago like led the league in that. Actually, weirdly had some carry to it. I guess he's still technically a prospect, but I think Montero's showing some promise. I mean, I was always a big J-Hen guy. I always liked that acquisition. And no, I have not. I won't be going into the offices. I do not work there anymore. But I don't know. I mean, if you can hit, you got to find a spot for him. But we'll see. Ask me at the end of the year. Do I think lefty-righty splits are too overemphasized? Get down. Ooh. Overemphasized? No. Well, I was going to say, I think there's a definite importance to them. I think sometimes managers take the data and overdo it a little bit. In general, 90% of the time, I agree with the moves AJ makes, but it does bother me when a guy has like a 4-for-4 night against a righty, and then the next night they set him solely because it's a lefty. I abide by analytical principles as much as most other people do, But at the same time, I do. The game is still played by humans. Good pitch. Did you enjoy seeing Francis get a divorce as a Castellani fan? I was. No, I did. I did not enjoy seeing a former coworker of mine get a divorce. Here's okay. There's a lot I have to say about that. I've been asked about. No, the answer is no. I don't really take any pleasure in seeing anyone go through a hard time. Um, Here's the thing, and he even kind of talked about it, but Francis wrote a blog that was reflective of the way a lot of other people were feeling. He just articulated it. I would have probably felt a little bit different if I felt like Francis was the one guy at the company who felt the way that he did. Because that at that point you can kind of just say, okay, fuck it, whatever. Like that's one guy. You're not everyone's gonna like you. The fact is, a heavy majority of the New York office and probably even some of the Chicago office wanted to unload on me in some capacity. By that point, he was just the one who, had the ability to articulate it better than anybody else could. He's always been a very good writer. But like to me, to be vindictive in a post Barstool world like that, it's continually an uphill battle because you don't win. You don't win. Like, okay, he's going through a hard time. That sucks. I'm still out of a job. I still lost a lot of the things that I worked for, a lot of things that were very important to me. Um, I guarantee you he does not think about me at all. And so in that way, he's won because it doesn't matter what I think. It shouldn't matter to him what I think. So that's the more kind of deeper analytical way of looking at it. But just on a human level, no, I don't like to see people go through hard times or hurt or in a bad place like that. I'm sure it sucks. It was a called slider there. That was a high pitch, but that's Maron. Give it to him. Oh, that was there. That was 99. That was paint. Yeah. To prolong the inevitable. Sit the fuck down. That was just an overwhelming sequence. I mean, I think Haniger could have probably been allowed 10 strikes in that at bat. I don't think he would have put a ball in play. Yeah. Well. Okay, I'll answer that in a second, but I want to watch the end of this. I want to watch this at back because he's feeling it now. Foul. Who does Jerry DiPoto look like? There's a certain actor. I think it's an actor that he looks like, and I can't put my finger on it. Oh. He's working backwards tonight because we're seeing a lot of off speeds. I mean, we're seeing a fastball bunch, but we're seeing a lot of off speed stuff early in counts, and then he's finishing guys off with the heater. Bang! Nine. Oh. Maybe a bit of Dax Shepard. Yeah. Strike. Ugh. This is the worst lineup forever for a team that's winning a division. You might be right. Like, legitimately. There's the 0-2 here. Hey, now. That was 100. What's the Barstool Universe afraid? Okay. To say afraid, I think, probably gives me significantly more power or credit than I deserve. I think part of it is it's kind of not cool after employees let go to be. I think the rules of Barstool is that if somebody's working there, you can shit talk them, you can bust balls, but when they leave, when they're no longer a part of that universe, you can, it's kind of accepted that you move on from them. And I also think that, and this is my own fault, I presented myself as someone who's so unstable that I just think nobody wants to be the guy who like pushes me over the edge. I there was probably a time where that was true. I'm fine now, but I think it's more so that when somebody leaves like that, and it ends as ugly as it did, that they'd prefer to kind of just make it seem like that person didn't exist, which I understand. I'm not. There's no bitterness towards that at all. Do I regret lying about friends? I regret bringing that into things. Yes. That was, and again, it doesn't excuse the behavior, what I'm about to say, but that was a trump card that I'd had in my back pocket that I'd heard secondhand from somebody months earlier. So it doesn't, whether I came up with it on my own or heard it from somebody else, doesn't matter. I felt at the time like there were, and again, I should have just accepted. I'm just saying what my mindset was at the time. I felt at the time like there were certain aspects of my story and my personal life that had been discussed in ways that I really didn't appreciate. Now, the difference is when you are that open about things you go through, people are going to be inclined to talk about that stuff, and that's on you, man. You could have kept it a secret, you didn't, and that's on you. So that was me in a very not cool way trying to like get back at him. It was stupid. I mean, I can't be anything other than apologetic about it. The sad truth is that it's not going to change anything. It's not going to change what happened in the past. But yeah. That was good. That. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because if you truly believe that something like that was true and you want to do something about it, you don't make it public and you don't blog about it in some sort of self-aggrandizing way. You handle it internally the way that a professional does. So it doesn't really matter. Well, I mean, hamstrings are part of your legs, right? What are your thoughts on Frank? People have asked me about this. Are people like shitting on Frank about that? Of course they, um, of course they wear like the home team's jersey. They're going to make them wear it. Between those two, it's 8 Mile. 8 Mile to me is one of the prime examples of a film that is so much better than it has any right to be. Because that was when you take a very famous singer and you make a film that is a vehicle for them, most of the time it's awful. Like the movies Elvis was in. Remember Cool as Ice, the Vanilla Ice movie in the 90s? There's other examples. I mean, I know he's not he was a rapper, but like fucking Shazam or Kazam with Shaq. Like there's some pretty lame examples. That's the one where like they really got the formula right. That's a smartly made Hollywood film. Swing and miss. I will be going Wednesday and Saturday to those games because they don't overlap with the Tigers. But I know it's a 5-game series. So I will be going to a few games there for sure, and I'll let people know that I'll be going. Yeah. Like tomahawk that. That was off the plate. Oh, is that gone? Wow. He's a weird player, man. I mean, I feel like he had really been mired in a slump. 406. Jesus, that was not a bad pitch. It wasn't quite to the level of what CJ Abrams hit yesterday, but that was a fastball, I think 96. Pretty well above the zone. I mean, at this point in his career, Jake is who he's going to be. But I really would love. It's just he's going to be a big boomer bust guy with a lot of swing and miss, play good defense. But man, he can be a real difference maker when he wants to be. That's what we've seen the last couple of years. I mean, if we're talking of the decade so far, of the 20s, I'd say Promising Young Woman, West Side Story, The Batman, Top Gun Maverick. Should reach out to Dave. Be cool to see if you have a section. I am 99.9% sure what the response to that would be. So I don't. They gave me, and honestly, it wouldn't be a second chance. It would be like 7th chance. Second time employed, but they gave me plenty of chances to stay on board there. I'd love to get back there, but there's a shit ton of dominoes that would have to fall in order for that to happen. And some of those are pretty much impossible dominoes to tip over. So, yeah, it is what it is. Good take. That was probably straight. Yeah, I agree, Mr. Benetti. I agree. Nah. I mean, probably not. I don't really know what they would be offering. Okay, yeah. It was at the time. I was honest when I said at the time that I was relieved to be out of there, because what was killing me was the contract or upcoming contract kind of lingering over my head. Now, it wasn't the company that had that lingering over my head. I put that over me. You know, Dave and fucking Big Count were like, "Hey, you got 2 more months." That was all me and my own, getting in my own way, which I have a tendency to do. Um, in March of 2024, it wasn't. I was not in a place where I could have continued working there. I'll be the first to acknowledge, and I think that this humbling was probably sadly necessary considering who I am. But I expected it would be much easier to find something else. And for the first 2 months, I was genuinely relieved because it gave me an opportunity. Now, I never stopped doing content, but I really, believe it or not, guys, most of what I do throughout a day you don't see. So there were a lot of, long talks with people that are close to me. There were a lot of appointments and therapy and talking and talking with people to make sure what to dissect what went wrong. For the first time in forever, I finally started listening to people and understanding, what changed. And it's been, almost 4 months now. I'm not going to say that I've come to terms with what's happened, because in a lot of ways, I feel like I'm not going to forgive myself for it, but I know what I did wrong, and that's simple. And I know that things would be different, but that's a really hard sell. It's a really hard sell. It should be a hard sell considering the way things ended. You learn. You learn the hard way. Strike. Do something special tonight with the stuff and the fortune will follow. 13, 11, and 12 pitches so far. Nasty changeup. A completely different way that he's going about pitching to a Rosarena. Gave him a lot of fastballs. Now this one he's gave him a slider and a couple of changeups. Ah. Very interested just as a spectator to see how he could have done that. You can't just say, oh, I don't know if he would have got it because he's so quick to his feet. If he's holds on to that ball, he'll shut back up there. But we've seen him throw people out from some pretty amazing spots. Ah, fuck. God damn it. That was a laser beam. Yeah, I mean, we're dealing in hypotheticals. What I've learned, one of the many things I've learned, is that it is better to take a beating on a daily basis and be employed and make money than it is to have too big of an ego to a point where you fuck yourself out of a job. Make a play. Got it. All right, guys, I'm going to be right back. I'm going to pour myself a quick drink here. So stick with me. We're back. That's in there. That's up. You know what I haven't had in a long time is a Slurpee. I don't know why I just thought of that, but not a boy. That could be 3. No, it'll be 2. Okay. Yeah, Robles got to it. He hit it on a line. Not a terrible pitch. Took kind of a weird route to the ball. Ah. Down. Blood, 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 blood. He has a chance. I don't think that he will. I understand that. Look, he's having an amazing season, and he will win an MVP at some point. But I just judge his offensive numbers. I mean, we haven't seen anything like it since Barry Bonds. I mean, just this kind of dominance. Ooh. Wow. Yeah, no, that was a clear miss. Started as a strike. Good pitch. I mean, it's a good pitch, but that's not even close. Fuck, trying to lead off double. Well, if that's it for Kirby, we did a good job against him.
Every Sunday is Chevy Sunday Kids Day. Kids 14 and under can enjoy pre-game autographs and face painters on a concourse, free rides on the high shoe Ferris wheel and carousel, and post-game kids run the bases for tickets. Tigers.com/tickets. Dan, you know where Dylan Moore went to high school? No, where did he go to high school?
I don't know. Bregman's free agency is going to be very weird. He's not had the best year. He had a terrible first month and a half. He's been better lately, but he's had injuries. It'll be interesting to see what the market is for Alex Bregman. I wouldn't be shocked if he gets a Donaldson type thing where he gets a 1-year deal from kind of a prove it contract from or similar like what Chapman got.
George Kirby was there, J.P. Crawford, Cal Raleigh, Ridley, a lot of the guys were there. But what's cool is that Top Secret created one-of-a-kind trading cards.
Good pitch.
Kids to autograph. So I couldn't appreciate it more. And Mitch Haniger obviously very well liked, always involved in the community. But tip the cap to him for his efforts yesterday. They're really cool. I mean, just the children.
2 sliders to start. TBD, man. Right now, it would be a no, but that's subject to change. I mean, last year I had, financials were in such good place. I don't know if I'm in position to spend money like that this year. Great pitch. Oh, my God. Carved his ass. He went. Yeah. This guy's had a down year, Garver. He was a guy that I liked. He was good at the Rangers last year. That was a signing I liked too, but that was 100. That's 2. Oh, this is a huge at bat. You should get this guy. Come on. That's on there.
Big spot for Rivas in the 9th position.
Good block.
1 ball, 1 strike. I just remember that just like that last week, when Mitch Garver was with the Twins. I mean, you saw it, constantly, with Texas last year. I mean, that power, that short, quick stroke. I'm sure that's what the Mariners were thinking, too, when they brought him over here.
All right, come on.
Change up again. I mean, same type of pitch we saw to Haniger. You're right. That darting down and away. And every now and then, because he doesn't turn it over all the time or try to do that. It just comes out of that way naturally. And every now and then, it just sails on a little bit. But those last ones are the ideal change up to right-handed hitters. One, two. Foul away.
Upstairs heater. Got to be thinking probably something. I don't know. Do you go back to the fastball? I mean, but he goes off speed. Bang. He went. Yeah.
the siren song of the changeup from Skubal. I mean, just changeup, fastball, changeup. I mean, he just has to twist it all around in that batter's box.
And Toyota's national sales event. Swipe into end of summer fun with an exciting new Toyota. Whether you're paddle boarding in a RAV4, mountain biking in a Tacoma, or chilling with your best friends in a Camry, you'll find plenty to post about all
Change
summer.
up.
Release a stylish new 24 Corolla for $239 a month. Get the all-new all-hybrid Camry with 5.25 APR financing, or lease this Camry for $319 a month.
Come in today. Ooh, like
Toyota, let's go places. Family is not just our name; it's the way we live.
my father chose to make family eat. And see why our family, everything we do. And take us today. You'll see the difference family makes. I was diagnosed with leukemia when I was 35
Well, it's got to be Blade, right? At least one of them. I don't know. I think we keep the young guys up.
This is so much more than baseball. I just think it's important for them to see, like, you can overcome something so difficult, and then there be such a blessing out of that.
As a professional athlete, my physical and mental strength was challenged many times. But my biggest challenge came after baseball when I was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. Studies show that exercising 2.5 hours per week can help manage Parkinson's symptoms and slow the progression of the disease. Because with fighting Parkinson's, movement matters. To donate, visit kirkgibsonfoundation.org.
It's time for the call, Sam. Best call. And it's the
Yeah, I kind of think that might be the play.
on the high fastball. Lyman Driscoll's up. He gets one left-handed for a double. Then Jake Rogers launches that home run
Rogers.
that has Randy Arozarena not even moving. And the Tigers did that so well today to drive him out after 5 innings. But every breaking ball that was down, they laid off, and they were hunting that high fastball. When they got it, they did damage against them.
Yeah, that's true. Could be one of the pitchers. And at that point, one of the guys, Miser Olsen, might be back too. Skubal. Run it out. Man, he was out there, but he made that. He is so fast that he made that a close play. How was he so bad early in the season?
Don't need that. Here is Zach McKinstry against Shakwa, who opened the season with the Marlins, and he came over in one of those deadline deals as the Mariners tried to give some length to the right-hand
Wow.
side of their bullpen. And look out, Anthony Iapoce. Look at that vert from post. It's pretty nimble. He was telling me that he's going to have a knee replaced, too. He looked pretty agile right there, didn't he? Almost was too easy. I think he has that foot. 1-1. I mean, so was walking around near the water the other day, and here comes Anthony Iapoce with a group of the Tigers going to an antique store. And they started calling it an antique store for where the end of the store is going to go. They had baseball cards at the antique store.
Yeah, he's on fire.
And
Hey, no, he didn't go.
around, checks where they'll go, and see if there's anybody he knows. And he found a Dan Petrie card. Yes, he did. And he threw down quite a bit of cash to dry that off the hands of the shopkeeper. Shiny nickel. 2-2. Then he turned his attention beyond Dan Petrie, which is hard to do. But he did that, And then he found a Juan Nieves card. Yeah. Tigers bullpen coach Juan Nieves out there in a Brewers jersey.
We get top of the order due up, yeah, next inning. Good at bat so far from McKinstry here.
To the point, the reason I brought it up is Anthony counted the stairs he climbed to get all the way up and down by the water. It was 108 stairs. So for a guy in a bad knee, he's pretty nimble. Yeah, we did those stairs too on Monday, up and down.
Oh, well, was a good at bat. That was a filthy pitch. Back foot slider. Zach Mitch Shitstain. Haven't heard that one. Speaking of shit stains, Javi Baez due up now. In there. I heard that guy was a huge dick. I don't. It's been a while since he worked there, but I heard not so good stories about him. From what I remember, no like personal anecdotes, but I just remember when he was he fired or did he retire? There were a lot of people who did not speak highly of him. Outside. Outside. He drew a walk yesterday, right, Javi? He walked. I was gonna say that. Yeah. No, you do not. No, you do not. You need to make it a solid 5 out of 10 in terms of attractiveness. You need to make it the most mid-looking fucking pitch in the world. He'll swing at it. This is the big inning here. Top of the order due up. I want to say Rogers hadn't had a hit in a while. Yeah. He was 0 for a lot. He's 0 for his last 16. Yeah, Rogers has not had a 2-hit game. Good call. Since my birthday, June 9th, against the Brewers. No, because it seems like it's not severe. It seems like it's just a strain. I think it's a side thing. It's not time to panic more than they already should be. I mean, before that injury, I felt like the rotation isn't going to be good enough to win in October, and after that injury, I still feel that way. I think he'll be back like at full health by for the home stretch. But to me, I don't know how this ends, but Baltimore, they really had a chance to give themselves a comfortable lead in the division when the Yankees went through really about a month where they were not playing well. I mean, they were like 10-20 in the month of July or something. And they had a lot of opportunities and they wasted a lot of opportunities. I felt like, and you know, that could come back to bite them.
ticket flexibility and exclusive benefits await you. Be the first to secure your seats at closertofonditnow.com/2020.
No. I would say if 500 at-bats against Tarek now. I would say if it was 500 at-bats and he could only throw one of his pitches, meaning fastball, changeup, slider, curveball, maybe then I could put a ball in play. And if I put a ball in play out of 500, maybe I get lucky a bit. That's in there. Yeah. Oh, I highly doubt it as well. It's just with baseball and it sometimes being as unlucky as it can be, just the possibility of like a dribbler down the third base line that a guy can, but I'm not fast either. So it's, you're probably right. I'm probably going 0 for 500. Giggity. Careful with this guy. The problem is Riley's on deck. He fucking gave up a tank against him. Nah. That's in there.
That's all in the grip, and that's why they practice all those grips to make sure that at the release point that seam is catching it to make it move that way.
Yeah, I walked him. All right, come on, hunker down here.
The destination that elevates every experience. It's a good time for a grand time in MGM Grand Detroit.
So this is one of those don't talk on Superman's cape moments in a couple of days. One, Skubal hates walking guys. Two, Cal Raleigh homered against him.
There's a good start.
This is one of those matchups where you just
he is not afraid to throw that pitch in any count. I'm willing to venture he has thrown that changeup in every single possible count at some point this year. And he's going to keep throwing it. I want to. What pitch did he homer on? Homered on a sinker. Yeah. I'd like that. I'd like that a lot. We'll see. I would definitely be in favor of that. Nice play. Not a ton of foul territory there. Great job.
First pitch, high fastball for Justin Turner. With 4 changeups in a row to Cal Raleigh.
All right, come on, get this fucking guy out. Let's go. So I'm seeing your questions. I'll answer them. I just want to. I'm locked in. Come on. This is one of those guys. He's fallen off a bit that I'm always afraid of. Justin Turner's always been a good hitter, man.
Spring training by the Tigers as well in recent memory, so it's a couple times. 2-1.
Come on.
But out, Skubal. Rogers was ready to throw the ball back to him, and Skubal was walking around the mound. Yeah, I thought Jake was, it's one of those moments, also just to kind of settle him down a little bit because he wasn't happy with it. He wasn't happy with that last pitch.
Yeah, tell me about it, right? Those would be MVP number. That's outside. Okay. That was outside. Take it. That was outside. Nah, I walked him.
Everybody's emotions are high. Skubal back at that fastball location. It is 2-on, 2 out. Let's see what Rogers does here as psychologist. Chris Fetter too. Chris Fetter's going to go out. Yeah, this is a really good trip by both of them.
Big moment in this game.
But it's also, 2 walks the same and very unusual, but also with 2 outs just to let him regroup and catch his breath. Especially because in this day and age, that pitch timer can corkscrew you down into the ground. That's the other thing, it just gets you breathing and out of breath, and that's why it's so important to get them just relax a little bit. They can spend so much time on their lower body and their legs just to keep them strong, but it's that cardiovascular that sometimes they don't do as much of it. So now it's just a matter of settling them down, let them catch his breath, make sure he's ready to go.
17 swings and misses tonight, Jesus. So he could probably go one more if he gets this guy out. It'll be the bottom of the order. That'll be tough. Oh, great play. Wow, he made that look so much smiling. He made that look so much easier than it was. I thought that was going to be bang, bang. That's a really athletic play. Sorry. Okay, somebody. Cleveland lead under 4 games, and both KC and Minnesota now close. Any chance they blow it? I'm reaching a point where I'm done trying to understand the Cleveland Guardians. Because I'm just amazed that they're having the season that they have. I don't think they have the best roster in that division. But they have won so many games the exact same way this year, with starting pitching being just good enough, the bullpen being dominant, the offense being clutch. That's like outside of J-Ram and Naylor, I guess David Fry, it's not like the offense is overpowered, right? But they're full of fucking pests. And Kwan's obviously having a great year. And those guys have had fine years, but outside of J-Ram, I don't think of them as superstars. But the pieces fit very well together. I think Kansas City is very good. I've finally come around to them potentially being something, because I just didn't trust their rotation coming into the year, and I think that it's been significantly better than I expected it to be. And they have a guy who, if he doesn't win MVP, is having an MVP type season. I mean, he's carrying them. The second half he's having right now is ridiculous. I mean, it's it's insane how consistent he's been and what he's developing into. I'd like one more run here, to be honest. Let's see who's due up for them. It'll be Haniger, Garver, and Rivas. That's up. That's an insane statistic. With power. Like, it's not like, and I like this guy a lot, but it's not like Luis Arise, where it's, yeah, the average is ridiculous, but like high average, low single, a lot of singles, low slug. Like, he's hitting triples and homers consistently. Ooh. That had some, that was a cutter. That was ridiculous cutting action on it. You know who had, when I was young, this is before I really knew baseball, a pitcher that, get down. That's a great play. I was so confused by Kenley Jansen. I remember when I used to watch him pitch. I'm talking when I was in like high school, probably high school. And he would throw that cutter, and I wasn't at a point yet in my baseball life where I could recognize a cutter. And he was throwing like 93 to 98. And I'm like, that pitch looks like it's about 1,000,000 miles per hour. What is it with that pitch that makes it so difficult? And I finally realized, like, what was weird about that, and he still throws it consistently, is that, like, it was a cutter with this, like, late break on it. Like, it looked like, it's a perfect pitch. It looked exactly like a fastball coming at you. And then, like, once it got to the plate, it just dove. That, to me, I've said this before, I think that is a huge difference between people who just casually watch baseball versus people who are huge fans of baseball. I think the ability to identify pitches is a huge one. Like, and Verlander was one of the first ones for me where, like, I could identify, okay, that's his fastball, that's his breaking ball, that's pretty to look at. I think that's when you kind of start to understand the strategy of the game, and I think it becomes a lot more interesting. Just my theory. What's that? Had some deep at bats tonight. Yeah, so I mean, Holton will be available. I mean, he only got one out last night. He'll be available. I think Foley will be available. Bullpen's in good shape. I just don't know how they're going to break it down. I can't imagine. I cannot imagine he goes with Shelby. So I think Foley will be available. I bet it might go Foley Holton. I'd have to look at the matchups, the righty lefty splits. But I would assume, unless this is like a 3-pitch inning, that this is probably it for Tarek. Holton's like, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't hate it. With the way he's rolling. All right, come on, one more inning here, man. That's on there. I feel like he started a lot of counts with that slider. Come on. Easy. Inside. All right, come on. You got to attack him here. I don't think he would go change up on this. I think you got to go with you got to challenge him with fastball. You went slider. Nice shot. I'll take it. I think he might have hot dogged that one a lot. I don't think that was that tough of a play. He might have just made it look. It's in there.
First place on the line. There's strike 2, 1 and 2 on another changeup that just falls. But just like you said, that just that one left-handed hitter in there.
Come on, man.
Just to take him out of that groove where he's in right now.
You can kind of tell he's emptying the tank a little bit. I mean, the stuff is still good, but he's just not deeper counts than we've seen. Yeah. I mean, that's not a terrible pitch, but that's probably a swing and miss earlier in the game. Yeah, like I said, but emptying the tank, yeah. That was a good pitch, though. How the fuck did he foul that off? I mean, that was dotted. I'd throw him another fastball. And if he fouls that off, I'm finishing off with a changeup. Yeah, Foley warm. I bet we go Foley Holton.
That's why they're thinking, okay, it's in the back of their mind, we're going to go fastballs.
Another heater.
There's another one.
Yeah.
And by the way, Foley, this would be 4 outings in 5 games. Or 5 days, I should say, with the off day in between. To do again.
Okay. Well, that's not fair. Yeah. I mean, you're sitting probably down in the zone. He's thrown you 3 fastballs in a row. It might have even been 4 fastballs in a row. Then he throws you a slider. And yeah, just like not even fair.
Just when you think, okay, I'm still going to get a fastball, then he drops it, that slider. And it wasn't even a strike. Well, and it was manipulative, not only in the choice of pitch, but also that was a hard slider. Yeah.
Okay, take it.
And it's a lot smaller than it used to be. It used to be kind of a typical slider, almost a sweeperish, and now it's turned into a little bit more of a cutting action.
That's in there. All right, come on, finish him off now.
It just comes out of the hand looking like a fastball. 2-2.
Come on!
It's been fun. Skubal walks off a mound in Seattle, triumphant at 3-2 through 7. And again, a wicked changeup. The reaction after the strikeout, not sure if he's coming out, but makes that perfect pitch. 2 straight hitters, slider, changeup, set out.
Here's your hard money think press.
Just $7.99, and I didn't have to order ahead. Now I have time to live it up. Summer, here I come. Pizza, pizza.
No, I think that was his 101st pitch. He's done. Great outing, but he's done.
Chevy lets you begin every day fully charged. So you can go further. And so can your money. Tow with confidence. Plus, stay connected with available OnStar technology. For summer adventures, Chevy's got you. Or GM employees with a current eligible lease can get this Silverado for around $319 a month. Chevy drives the Motor City. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. It's cemetery time out there. Wouldn't it be great if you could find what you want all in one place?
Chevy does. Save on some of the biggest names in streaming with extended
That was it's a shame he gave up that home run because that was some of his best stuff of the season. I mean, he really had it tonight. He was in complete control the entire outing.
They're just trying to do that about 15 or 20 times per season. They don't do it every night. Can't afford to do it every night. But I'll tell you what, pretty fun. And good to see from Brock Hewitt out there as they got this live food. They talking about that. That's I mean, considering the pitchers don't we thought we were going to have, it's a perfect entree into the 8th inning. There's a broken bat pop-up left side of the infield, and that pop-up from Heaven goes to Rewasters all the way as Austin Voth is into the ball game for the 2nd straight night. He threw the 7th yesterday and gave up Single to that, barely going to walk. Did not get scored upon.
Yeah, it'd be nice. I don't think this guy's gonna fucking do it, but I know. Didn't Meadows take this guy Bridge last night?
And it looks like he's going to be called upon to the scoreboard just like that. Classic scoreboard out there like you. Under Eggers, the Martinez restaurant out there. You're really glad.
Yeah, help you guys out. Would you be in first place? Did you come in today a half game back? Outside.
What was he like to pitch, Jim? He was so tough. I mean, generally I thought I had a chance against most right-handed hitters, and he was one that I probably didn't. I mean, because you know why? Because he had such good power, but he went the other way, which was so good. He'd go to right field.
Oh, there's some movement on that sweeper, man. Get down. Hey, now that's proved me wrong. It should be 2. Yep. A lot of movement on that sweeper, but he's hung it a few times. He hung one last night to Meadows. Hopefully he does it again. Yeah, occasionally. I'll hit him up. I avoided it for a while just because I just didn't want it to be weird, but I've stayed in touch with some people. That's okay. Ah. Do I think? No, I mean, I've been saying no for. I would love that. I definitely feel a heavy sense of regret. Be a hell of a story. I know that I would. I know I do things a lot differently, but because the thing is, and I don't know if I've talked about this particular thing before, but this might have been stupid on my part. I was always under the impression. Did he injure himself in the slide there? Sorry, I'll get back to this in a second. Anyway, I always was under the impression that Chicago was still on the table. And I have gotten more information, or just, I mean, I should have asked, right, from the beginning that it was definitely a no. I would have changed how I went about a lot of things. Again, regret, but. If I could, again, I hate doing this whole if I could do it again. If I could do it again, I would actually take a lot of pride in doing my own thing. Like, you are on an island now. You have to fucking earn this. Like, you deserve to be given nothing. You deserve to be treated like shit. Go make from it what you will. But, it's fantasy shit. I don't even know why I'm doing this. Fucking hobby.
Standing toe-to-toe with a spin doctor, Austin Wolf.
Outside.
Fastball resets to power. 1 ball, 1 strike. Top of the order is coming for the Mariners. Near the bottom of the 8th. There goes McKinstry, and he's in there standing up.
You know what's weird is they don't really the 9th inning is really when they call something defensive indifference. Because catcher had no play on him there.
It's all about Wolf and Javi Baez.
He's
Wow, that saved a run as well. Garver goes flailing,
yeah, it's gonna be full.
and it's 3 balls and a strike.
You know, I have wanted to. Maybe I could do that tomorrow. I could do that tomorrow. Yeah, I get it. I would just love to go back to like being that underdog role. Like given the minimum, you haven't earned any of the resources we have. Just go do your own thing. Which I know that's what they wanted from me from the beginning, but Jesus Christ. Now that could no, it's not going to drop. See, the thing is, the pitch before he could have nuked.
Over the last 50 years, Michigan has come to know us. Everyone knows about our no-fee guarantee. Everyone knows the Bernstein advantage. Everyone knows it's always a free consultation. And that's why everyone knows 1-800-CALL SAM is the best call you'll ever make after an accident.
Market challenges this summer because FanDuel has something for everyone every day. Score more runs than any inning with profit boosts. Take home bonus bets for home runs every Tuesday. And beat the heat with no sweat bets.
Oh yeah, it would really suck a pair of balls if we blew this. We've played well tonight.
Chevy lets you begin every day fully charged. So you can go forward. And so can your money. Talk with confidence. Plus, stay connected with available OnStar technology. For summer adventures, Chevy's got you. Or GM employees with a current eligible lease can get this Silverado for around $319 a month. Chevy drives the Motor City. Together, let's drive.
Save half off every window. Plus an extra 22% off for cash.
Why do I never discuss the route? I don't want to cause them any more problems than I've already caused them. Is the answer for that. And I caused them a lot. The thing is, I think that it's very. I find it lame when somebody leaves a job and immediately grows this kind of resentment. But there comes a time in life where you just got to swallow your pride and accept that you fucked up. No good would come from picking fights. You got to own it. You got to own it. Even if it kills you. Yeah, I saw that they won too, right? Give it to him. Ooh.
That's a little bit high on Rojas. Check swing. Down 2-1. Top of the order is next. It's Robles and Rosarena, then Cal Raleigh. So it's such a big batter here because it will maybe decide if Raleigh bats as Andres Munoz getting loose.
It is. And I was thinking the same way with Jason Foley. You know that he's reliable.
Mm.
And he's going to come out and, generally he's always going to be right around the plate with that really good center.
No, I know people that have. They've said it's a very good park. It looks like a good park. It's probably about 2 decades old now, but they do pretty. They've maintained it. It seems. Ooh.
You talk about getting in somebody's kitchen.
It is blender. How about, the differential between that sinker and that one. You talk about, one's going to foot one way, another one's going. Thinking that's coming out of his hand, or that's going to make the next right-hand turn, and instead it just comes in and makes a left-hand turn right in out of your hands.
Great pitch.
There's a slider to his back shoe, and there is one away. Now a message to the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers.
Returning easy plan less ease. Lease a 2024 F-150 XLT 4x4 Super Crew for $329 a month for 24 months. Only at your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers.
One down, Robles. He has to fight that off.
Make it.
Foley
I'll take it.
easily. That sinker that just kind of leaches itself to you.
Boy, when a left-hander with the slider and a right-hander with that sinker, look at this boring in. What a great view of that coming in and it's just coming in to saw your bat off. And how do you protect yourself against it? It's just eating your hands up. Just coming in, just mouth open, coming right for your bat.
Great pitch.
Look at that. Start right coming in with teeth open, coming right in like a piranha coming after that bat. Picture a bat like a beaver going after a tree.
That's how it goes. It's a beautiful description. That's what it does, and that's How is it? Show the chances. How do they?
Like a beaver in a tree. Just gnawing right away. Pac-Man.
I'm so glad social media exists. 1-1. Downstairs, 2 balls and a strike on a Rosarena. But that's the point of it, though, right? It's to
How do I describe that? Yeah, trying to describe it the best I could. I don't know.
all you do is win. 2-1.
All right, come on.
Nice pitch. Top of the zone sinker where we started with the starting pitchers. And Foley comes in and does the same. 2-2. Same pitch.
What are you going to do with that?
Yeah, I still feel like his velo's down a bit, but the movement on his pitches looks a lot better tonight. And he's mixing in other pitches, mixing in the sliders, mixing in the changeup. That's a good piece of hitting. And that's 98 on the black. He goes the other way with it for a double. Yeah, I didn't think I would say this. And maybe I'm just getting more used to it. But next year, it should be Petrie Benetti every game, unless Benetti isn't available, then it should be Dickerson Dirks.
Yeah, I was going to say that slider was so good
Yeah, it's
before and on the hands of Rojas.
he really seems to be mixing in his other pitches much more consistently here. Starting off with a slider, I feel like he rarely does that. Doubled up on it too.
Another pitch with spin, 1-1 strike. Yeah, it's so hard to tell. Jake Rogers is setting up right down the middle. And that's what he would do with a sinker that he wants to tail away. Or that spinner that's back foot.
That was a sinker. That was 93. If that was 93, that's probably his slowest sinker of season. Though that looked like it might have had some changeup action on it though. Keep it down. Oh! That makes up for last night, man. That was so gone. Fuck yeah. That was awesome. That was awesome. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you were worried about. That's an easy out. That was an easy out. That was incredible, man. That was incredible. I mean, that was art. He timed that so perfectly. That was awesome. That was awesome. What a great call by Lucky Green. That was awesome. That was dope. I can't stop smiling. That was so cool.
He's what, 6'5". I mean, his armpit was above that yellow line. That ball four. It's only got a block.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna clip the my reaction to that from the stream, and then we will all share it. I'm doing all right, Jenna. Thank you for asking. That was really cool. I got a funny clip I'm gonna share.
He's more than an athlete. He's an artist. It's like a bird the way he rides the wind. He's more than an athlete.
Yeah, he was ridiculous. No, I'm gonna talk about that where I thought he had some of his best stuff of the season tonight. That changeup. I mean, I know that this isn't, but when you're throwing that pitch like 55 feet and guys are just waving at it, I mean, they cannot pick up that pitch. You know, I would love that one day. It's a delicate thing though. I would love that, but I want to make sure that he's completely comfortable making, all right, way to go, back-to-back walks, making public appearances again or doing something of that sort. Because when you are a public figure, which you are when you're a professional athlete, and you go, I mean, he is completely off the grid, Austin Meadows. So, yeah, no, I would love that. All right, let's tack on now. Come on. But I'd love to do a legit interview with him and talk about that and talk about the what he went through and what happened really, because he doesn't owe anybody an explanation. Not everyone is as narcissistic as me and feels the need to share every detail of their mental health struggles. But there's a natural curiosity when something like that happens. And I would argue, as much as it, negatively impacted the on the field product in Detroit, that there's an importance to what he did. I mean, I wish it wouldn't happen to my team, but baseball is as mental a game as there is, and sports is incredibly mental. And guys are lauded all the time for playing through aches and pains and fighting through injury. You are every bit as tough if you find a way to play through mental health struggles. So I'd love to talk to him. Yeah, that's outside. I asked AJ about it when send him, go. He was kind of lazy catching that. Great job. That was when he first caught that. I didn't think they would go. He kind of kept drifting back. I'm not going to say it was lazy necessarily, but he made that play much harder because he kind of ended up throwing that off of his back foot. Inside. All right, come on, drive him in, Maddie. Yeah, that's what Jake's known for. Terror on the bases. In there. That's a really good question, Joe. I'll answer. I want to answer it after this at bat because I think there's very few relievers where there's like 4 or 5 different roles that you can, consider him for. Yeah, that catch fired me up. I want to win this fucking game now. I mean, I know it's meaningless, but run it out. Yeah, boy. Let's go. I forgot they were playing infield in. 3-hit night. Vierling has had a very good year. Vierling has had a very good year.
Such a great point. It's just that dugout had to be so fired up, helped a little bit by a couple of walks. That fairly gets in a good hitter's count, 2-1, waiting for that fastball. He finally got it and was able to trick.
Oh, do you have him on the run line? Is that? No, the question they're making pitching change now. I'm curious what you think, but where do you ideally think Tyler Holton should be for the next year or two? Okay, this is my preference, and I got to look at the weird thing with me, and maybe I don't know if this is an autistic trait where I can only focus on one thing at once. I don't check like what the free agent market looks like till the end of the season, so I don't know who's available and who isn't. One of the big things I want to see this team do in the offseason is add a hard throwing, high leverage, high strikeout reliever. Now I think AJ, as long as he's the manager here, unless we stumble upon an Edwin Diaz or an Emmanuel Clase or an Aroldis Chapman, I think AJ is content with having a bullpen full of guys that are capable of getting the final 3 outs. I prefer Holton in that long to middle relief role. Now, if they want to bring him in and have him pitch the 9th inning, he can pitch the 9th. I mean, he's been fantastic this year. I think when you have a reliever of his versatility, I would prefer not to limit him to just 1 inning at a time. So I would kind of prefer that he maintains a similar kind of Swiss Army knife role to what he's had this season. Yeah, no, I'll have to look. I don't know what it is. I still feel like maybe I'm just handling them with kid gloves. I don't know. But I feel like that bullpen got so overused in the first month of the season, and it's like they never recovered. These live stream story games are way better. Yeah, man. When you have these late games, it's easier. I mean, when you play these games at like 6:40 or whatever, I'm kind of like moving around the house. Like I rarely kind of sit in one place at one time. He crushed that, but that was foul.
He is one of the best outfielders in Major League Baseball, and that is not an exaggeration. That's why I just think it was so hard that they were saying he's still contributing, defensively. They didn't want to, but knowing that, the best of for his development was to get straightened away. And we talked about it in the open. I mean, I know it's just a small sample of just 5 games since he's been from AAA, but he's hit with the power.
Yeah, well, we got another West Coast series coming up, though. I think 2 of them are day games.
That's why I think he's so loved. For first, I don't know that this crowd likes anything. Maybe you might have to butter him up with more hot dogs from heaven.
Ooh. Huh. Who was it earlier tonight that said Vierling never steals bases? I mean, that was an easy steal, but yeah, look, I mean, you're 100% right, Jenna. I think ultimately, and I've talked about it with since the beginning, is what will define the Scott Harris era is how he develops and hopefully retains position players. Get through. Fuck yeah. Gio. You might not have to use Holton now. Get down.
That's the big two-out hit that the Tigers needed right there to bust this game open.
Come on. Yeah, he still might, though. I mean, 4-6-2 is not a save situation. But, like, you get two guys on and it gets hairy. Like, dude, if he fucking goes deep after making a great defensive play, I'm going to freak out. Shelly Miller's don't even say that shit. Don't even. He's just feeling himself right now, man. He's approaching like full on locked in territory.
Loosey-goosey little hands, gets that pitch out over the plate and just kind of whips that bat. Just pokes it once. Watch this little loose hands. Boom. Shoots it right into left field. Love that. You know, that ball sinking down in the way and just whips those hands and wrists.
Yeah. The thing, okay, and it looks right now like Max Clark is oh, dude, he's so out. Yeah. Whatever. We scored 3 runs. I have a ton of confidence that Max Clark can develop into a legit center fielder. Is he checking something?
It's time to stop settling. Get what you deserve. You deserve to get Lux for less. Introducing the $7 Lux Cravings Box. Only at Taco Bell.
When Just for Men eliminates gray, you get great before and after. And then the after the after. That boost you get when you look and feel your best. And try one-day beer and brown color. The fastest, easiest way to cover grays and define lines. Scan QR code.
So I was going back to something that I'm confident Max Clark will develop into a good center fielder. The thing is, though, is this is going to sound silly. Center field is the shortstop of the outfield. Everyone gets drafted as a center fielder. The same way that every infielder gets drafted as a shortstop. Miguel Cabrera was drafted as a shortstop. So to me, if we run into a conundrum where like Parker's still here and you have your center fielder of the future in Clark, that's a good problem to have because then you have an outfield potentially of Green, Clark, and Meadows. That's an exceptionally athletic defensive outfield. This is not my official prediction. The first time I saw the schedule, I said 11-6. Now, I know some people might view that as a disappointment, but I think that they will be – I think last season at least in the regular season. Now, they showed what they were worth in the postseason, but at least in the regular season, there were some, the Bears game was coin flip. Kansas City game was kind of coin flip. I think that, and good teams win those close games. There's a lot of close games in the NFL. I think that like somewhere between that 13-4 and 11-6 range, which means they're going to be a very good team. Oh, they brought in Hannafy. Okay.
And just the emotion that the Tigers had after that play from Parker Meadows, the dugout rewarded after that play 3 runs in the 9th inning. And
Yeah. All right, don't fuck around here.
and you just feel like hopefully some of that momentum was shot from the Tigers because the introduction he was above the world. With that being said, here's Polanco.
Good pitch. I mean, 2 outings. Hannafy's got some legit stuff. I mean, that's a sinker in the upper 90s. That was a great changeup there. I like relievers who throw sinkers, like hard sinkers, because I like ground balls. Right on cue. Turn it. Do I know ball or what? 95 sinker right there. I mean, that's just routine double play.
Steps on the bag and makes that throw over first. Dylan Moore looked like he might have made the defensive player of the night. The thing about clocks, though, is they develop. Yeah, we were just thinking, I hope that one doesn't come back to haunt the Tigers and Parker Meadows. It's just one up to.
Wow, that was way down. Good pitch, but it was down. Ump's ready to go home. He wants to rewatch the Parker Meadows catch, too. Outside.
He wanted that one. So you know he's going to pepper the bottom rail now. Yeah, should have been that. That was close. No. 2-2.
Oh. Yeah, just called him up. Good stuff, though. He pitched on Sunday and looked pretty good. But he looks, I think if you give Chris Fetter arms with plus stuff, he can do good things. Bang! Come on! All right. You know what's next. Talk to you guys soon. Thanks for watching.